Welcome to this bite-sized video for the Digital Support Services T-Level, where we'll explore Task 1 for the Cybersecurity Employer Set project. The Employer Set project consists of a series of tasks designed to assess the 5 assessment objectives shown. The skills assessment is set and marked by NCFE and is conducted during a 2-week assessment window, which will be available during the summer and autumn terms. The tasks are designed to replicate the real-life industry experience. To help achieve this, we use employers and industry experts when developing the ESP. Now, this video will focus on Task 1, where students will be investigating and identifying the root cause of any network issue using the brief and support and documentation. And this task will be assessing assessment objectives 2 and 3. Now, Task 1 occurs during the first assessment week, and this is on a fixed date and time, is stipulated by NCFE, which can be found in our key date schedule. The session is supervised rather than invigilated, lasting 2 hours 30 minutes. If students have any access arrangements or reasonable adjustments, such as additional time for assessments, then you should apply that internally and increase the time of the task by the relevant amount. The assessment material should only be available to students during the scheduled session, so do take account of this and ensure you have secure storage areas for students' evidence. Internet access is permitted to allow them to search and identify solutions to the problem. You must ensure that privacy mode has been disabled, with policies applied to prevent students from deleting their browsing history. You must also ensure that access to online cloud storage services and online chat clients is not accessible, as outlined in your provider guide. Now, the students could be issued with controlled documents to support them with this task. The students should prepare and submit a fault-finding investigation report and a test plan document. In this task, students will be presented with a scenario and brief to a network-related fault or issue, with 22 marks in total available for the task. The students should be allowed access to the internet to allow them to research and identify solutions to the problem, and will have access to controlled documents to support with the undertaking of the fault-finding investigation to help resolve the root cause of a network issue. Now, using the information provided in the brief and scenario, along with the controlled document, students will need to produce a fault-finding investigation report worth 6 marks. That will include any recommended changes, along with a test plan worth 16 marks for the use of troubleshooting and the network connectivity issues. Now, the first step in any fault diagnosis process is to identify the problem clearly and precisely. So this means defining the symptoms, the expected performance, the scope, and the urgency of the issue. Gathering relevant information such as system specifications, operating conditions, the maintenance history, user feedback, and this will help narrow down the possible causes and solutions. And the next step could be to perform a diagnosis using appropriate methods and tools. So depending on the type and complexity of the problem, it could be visual inspection, testing, it could be measurement, simulation, or a troubleshooting technique. Following a logical and systematic approach, such as the divide and conquer, top-down or bottom-up methods to isolate and verify any issues or faults. You should also document any steps, results, and observations carefully and accurately. So once you've identified faults, you could evaluate the possible options for resolving them. So this may involve comparing the costs, benefits, risks, feasibility feasibility of different actions, such as repairing, replacing, or even upgrading faulty components or systems. Then consider the impact of your decision on the overall performance, reliability, and the safety of the system. So based on evaluation, making recommendations that best suit the needs and expectations of the client or the manager or the colleague, referring back to the scenario and the brief. So in addition, providing alternative or contingency plans in case of any unforeseen circumstances or changes in any requirements. You could also specify the expected outcomes, timeframes, and resources needed for implementing the recommendations. And then finally is to prepare a comprehensive and professional report that documents all the steps in resolving the identified issues. You should also use clear and concise language, diagrams even, tables, charts, and references to support any claims or arguments. You should also proofread and edit your report for accuracy, clarity, and readability. For the design and layout, ensuring that it's clear and easy to understand with a good consistent formatting and with the inclusion of a purpose to help focus the response on the issue from the brief and the faults they're investigating, which can further be supported by including a root cause analysis approach, even using the 5 whys. How can you help ensure students choose suitable tests and tests plural? It's important as there should be a range of different steps to test the suggested changes to resolve the fault. And when considering the placement within the marking bands, consideration should be given to the appropriateness of the selected tests in the context of the actual fault itself. Students may take different decisions when designing their test plan, but credit should be given for the clarity and appropriateness of the outlined steps in relation to the brief. The test plan design features may include consistent formatting, structure that's clear and easy to understand, simple lists, the use of tables to lay out their tests and expected results, which would also include suitable table headings on the test plan. And there will be information in the brief to support with this. Since the students don't actually carry out the tests, consideration should be given to the appropriateness of the selected tests and their context of the actual fault based on the brief and any supporting documents they have along with the scenario. We hope you found this useful and have a better understanding of Task 1, and do see our other bite-sized videos that form part of this Employer Set Project series. Thank you.